Yes, it is time to say goodbye to one of my smartphones. The Moto Z2 Force is on its way out. Going to be selling it. And I know that the buyer is going to be excited to use this device. I just know. For me, it's been an exciting smartphone to have in-house here on my Project 13, to be able to share the moment I first got it, unboxed it, and started using it, and giving you my my experiences and my opinions on this device, because they're solely my experiences. That's always going to differ from me to you. We agree to disagree, right? And yeah, pros and cons with any smartphone that I have, or any smartphone out there that you may have that I've never had my hands on. There's always going to be pros and cons to these devices. They're never perfect. Some come pretty darn close. The Moto Z2 Force, for the price that I picked it up at, I couldn't be any happier for the period of time that I've had it and been able to share it with you. And just using it as an average consumer, out of pocket, in hand, everyday functionality, performance, battery life, all those areas working great. Connectivity, 4G LTE here with T-Mobile locally. They are my carrier, and they've been a great carrier for our family. We got a great plan. But yeah, I have no issues with connectivity. Again, that could differ where for some of you out there, depending on where you live and who your carrier is and so forth. But it has been just a fluid device. The AMOLED display on this smartphone has just been just a vivid, sharp display to take in my media when I'm watching videos and movies. The one single speaker up top, I'll go ahead and get into it really quick, doubles up as an earpiece, but don't let that one speaker fool you, because I'll tell you something, man, it is loud, and it has really good quality when it comes to the audio that's being delivered from that area right there. Just a beautiful, sexy looking device. Can adapt the Moto mods. I do have a speaker here that I am going to keep, because, well, you never know what else I could be bringing in down the road. So I'm going to keep that. I picked this up for 40 smacks. I got some cases that will be going with this device to the new owner, and they can decide whether they want to invest their money. They want to invest into the Moto mods, spend their money for this device. So just as is, like this, man, it's just one sexy looking device. I got a tempered glass screen protector on here. You got a front flash, which is awesome, with the front facing camera here. So, you know, on the back, you got the two 12 megapixel cameras back here. I forgot some of the specs. It's been a while since I've talked about these specs. 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of internal storage. You can expand that memory as well with an SD card, 5.5 inch, 1440 by 2560. So this is an 18, it's not an 18 by 9 aspect ratio, 16 by 9, which I really love. I love the width, I love the height. I don't mind the bezels at all. Fingerprint reader on the front, not on the back. You got the Moto M logo back there. Again, the two 12 megapixel cameras back there. Just a very efficient device. Very efficient. I never had any issues with this device at all. Whether it was, again, I just talked about the performance and the functionality and the battery life. All of that has worked for me. And I know that when it's time for me to sell a device, it's hard. But I always get excited about giving it to that next person and seeing, especially locally. I love to sell locally. I don't really like to pack this stuff up and send it out. So if I can sell it locally to anybody I know, whether it's a family member, whether it's a friend, whether it's a coworker, at least I can find out how things are going and if I can be of any help with their new device that I'm selling. And I love the fact that I always put on screen protectors in cases when they first come in. So a lot of that goes to them, and they know that it's been protected, that my devices that go out have been taken care of really well. And I want to have that type of reputation It does have a 2730 milliamp battery, but don't let that fool you. When you get a device like the Moto Z2 Force that's really well optimized, a 2730 milliamp battery is efficient. I got about 4.5 to 5 hours with really heavy usage, moderate to heavy. You can increase that by another half hour, 45 minutes, but that's all depending on what you're doing too. Because, you know, some of you rarely use your devices. You just do a lot of social media, maybe check out the web here and there. And then there's some of you that game, and then there's some of you that don't do that. Maybe you just listen to a lot of music. So that's going to vary in who your carrier is too and how your connectivity is. So, but for the most part, man, this device gives me better battery life for the most part than my Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus. Now, the reason I'm making this video is because a lot of times you don't know when I get rid of a device, and I'll get questions. You know, you'll ask me to do a comparison, and I'll be like, hey, you know what? I forgot to tell you, man, I already sold that device, or I traded it in, or I gave it away to a family member, whatever the case may be. And well, then I can't do that comparison. So this video is to let you know that this smartphone, the Moto Z2 Force, is still worth investing your money in 2018. It really is. There's a lot to get out of this smartphone that you're not, in my opinion, going to miss with any newer smartphone, unless you just have to have the latest and greatest and you have to have that new look, or you just got to have that notch, right? I just know that I'm going to get questions, so now you know that it's going to be gone. But if you have any questions, you can still ask. Okay, you're not going to get a comparison. I will direct you to some of the other videos that I created and uploaded for you to watch with this device, or I'll direct you elsewhere that could possibly help you if you have questions. But as far as any comparison videos, new ones, it's not going to happen with this device unless I was to run across it for a really, really cheap, inexpensive. You know, if I ran across this device and it was selling for, let's say, 150 bucks, it was refurbished and it was in great condition, and I had the money, I decided to pick it back up. Okay, well, just like the Huawei Nexus 6P. But that's the reason why I'm making this video. Well, a couple reasons. Number one, to let you know how awesome this device is. And number two, it's not going to be here. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask and I'll do my best to help you out. In short, I think that's all I had to say, right? Wow. Sometimes I just go on and on and on. And yeah, I could have just said it in short, just like that. But either way, I know that the buyer is going to enjoy this device. In 2018, the Moto Z2 Force is a device to be reckoned with. And please trust me when I say that. In my opinion, disclaimer, it is my opinion, but this is a device, especially if you want to invest in moto mods, and that can be something that you really want to dabble in. You know, it's an exciting, fun device that's going to give you completely something different than any other device when it comes to moto mods. And yeah, I'm telling you, man, this speaker here really, really rocks. I can't test it out because I've already reset the device, but I have some videos that you can go check out. When I first brought that in, I actually tested it out, so you can go watch that video. I might throw a couple links down below in the description. But yeah, I guess that's it. You know, it's just time to say goodbye. I got some cases here. There's 3 cases, Tudia, Lightning Night, and I got a clear case in here that I'm sure the buyer is going to be excited to use. Tempered glass screen protector already on there, and I will direct them to you know, where they can purchase moto mods if that's something that they're interested in as well. The Moto Z2 Force has been a force to be reckoned with, a monster, phenomenal device. If you can come across one for a great price, pick it up. Pick it up if you want to consider, and your mind's intrigued. In my opinion, I think you would enjoy it, especially if you like the Moto line of devices. So, that being said, peace. I'm out.